All right, and we're live. Greetings, fellow unbelievers. It is Saturday, September. What the hell are we at today? I don't even know. 22nd. That's right.
Yeah.
And today I'm chatting with Nadine Callan about her about her deconversion story. Let me just shut the volume off on the other one. See, this is what I do. I have a backup one so I can see the chat going. Which I sometimes apparently I don't pay much attention to sometimes. So. Anyway, so Nadine, basically what you know the deal. I just say, tell me how you went from I haven't been in almost every stream that you've
had. No.
Basically, I want to know what happened, like from the time you were a believer and the first sort of thing that you noticed that kind of made you start to question, and your pathway to where you sit now on your position. So let's hear it from you.
Let's hear. Okay, so first of all, hi guys. You're itchy.
Oh look, she's sucking up already.
Want me to get the rake out? I've got a rake here somewhere.
You people in the chat, you behave, because I do have a chat hook and I can pull you guys out of there.
Yeah. So like I was born United. I was raised Anglican. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. I was in a rush, so maybe not. I was only 2 months early, so who knows where I was actually born.
The back of a pickup.
It's possible. But yeah, I was born United, raised Anglican, and never ever made sense. None of it did. Like I never understood any of the on the surface. All the Bible stories seems like they're nice, people are getting saved, but there was always something that never ever made sense to me with that, and I didn't quite.
Which was?
Well, I couldn't figure it out, and then I was watching Seth one day, and he was talking about how the Bible stories are all stories of genocide and incest. And I'm like ding, 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 ding. Yes, exactly. Yes. That's the word. And I'm like, that's it. That's why it never made sense to me. Being a 5-year-old child and whatever, a little kid, you don't quite get what doesn't make sense. You just know it doesn't make sense. Some stuff, you don't know why stuff doesn't make sense, but when it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't click in your 5-year-old mind.
No, it doesn't.
But then again, like we were just talking on Twitter, I believe that brown or chocolate milk came from brown cows. So.
Yeah, well, when I was growing up, my dad told me that black men were made of dark chocolate.
What?
Black men were where I grew up. There was no black people or brown people or people of any other color but white as ghosts like me. And so I never saw a live black person until I was like 5 or 6 or so, and I was like, what's that? Who's that? Told me it was a black man that he's making of chocolate.
Oh.
Yeah, made out of dark chocolate. And of course, 5 years old, it's just the same as, he wasn't being racist or anything. He just thought it was funny because he wouldn't have said it otherwise. But, it was just like any other thing. If we didn't duck our heads going under a bridge, we'd hit our heads on the bridge, So every time you going under a bridge in the car, you go like this, even though it's like 40 feet above you, you still go like this in case you hit your head.
It reminds me of those people that when they go over railroad tracks in their car, they got to lift their feet up or they're going to have bad luck.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I did that for months just because I was stupid.
Exactly.
And it really sucks when you're driving because you have to take your foot off the gas pedal and then you start slowing down really quick.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And yeah, so it's just I was told stupid stuff just like everybody else when they were kids because their parents wouldn't fuck with them.
Yeah. I would totally be that way too if I had kids. So
exactly.
it's part of the fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the whole point of having children, so you can fuck with them for a while until they grow up and know better.
Yeah. You have to stop if they get bigger than you and they can kick your ass though.
Exactly. Well, there is that threshold, and
yeah, my dad learned that lesson.
I'm sure he did. I was lucky that way, my when we lived in Newfoundland, where I'm living now, is where I grew up with my grandmother, my mom's mom. Her family were all quite religious, and you had to go to church every Sunday and all this kind of stuff. But it was my parents never actually pushed it on me. You had to go to church, but Sunday was more about family being together than it was about church.
The actual religion part.
Yeah, it was more about the family being together. So
would you consider maybe they were not really religious, but they more like traditionalists, but still
yeah. My mom says she believes in God, but she doesn't. my dad always said that if he went into the church, it would explode.
Burst into flames or something.
Yeah, he would burst into flames if he walked into a church. So he didn't ever want to go into the church.
Right.
Unless it was a funeral or something, he wouldn't go into a church, and I don't blame him. That's the excuse I use too. No, thanks. It'll explode.
Just have to cover yourself so that God doesn't know who you are, right? And then he won't burst you into flames when you go in there.
Hi, Terry and Nacha and Spooky and everybody.
Oh, hey guys. Josiah. Sorry, I'm not paying much attention here. Sorry, guys.
In recent, whoever else I didn't say hi to already yet. But yeah, so we, that's the kind of the way it was growing up. But it was always, Nan, my mom's mom was always really religious, and but around here it's not like it is in the States with religion. Like I've noticed that there's a big difference here. Religion's a deeply personal thing, and they don't really talk about it. Church is something that you do. And a lot of the men don't go to church.
Right,
yeah. A lot of men don't go to church, but a lot of the wives do, and it's just kind of the way it is around here. Some of the men, of course, go to church, but it's not so much. And
I never understood how women. I never understood how women could even want to be involved in biblical stuff, considering they promote gender inequality. So
that's another one of those things. I'm like, yeah, fuck off. Don't try and pull that shit on me. I'm just you want to I'm not a tiny kind of gal. I'm not huge anymore, but I'm not really small, and I dig my heels in. You're not getting me. Go nowhere. No matter how fucking big you are, I'll throw you over.
I will kick your ass.
Exactly. Right. I bodybuilded. I was bodybuilding for a reason. There's a reason why guys have trouble.
Whatever you want.
Exactly. Yeah, get my legs around you. You won't be going nowhere. Rush.
Oh, the big leg lock. All right, I like it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's and then of course, my parents divorced when I was 13. We moved. We went to getting warm, and we went to Calgary, Alberta, when I was 15 on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
On vacation, and never went home. My parents got divorced while we were on vacation, and that's kind of where the whole religious thing kind of stopped. We never went to church after that and all that kind of fun stuff, unless we came back to Newfoundland to visit and went to church with whoever I was staying with, But mostly I was staying with Dad, so I didn't have to worry about that. But you know, if I was,
he didn't want to burst into flame, so yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, well, you know, exactly. You know, flame's bad, unless your buddy from Fantastic Four or whatever it is, you know.
The Human Torch.
Yeah, the Human Torch. That's it. Flame on. I guess that would be a good ignition source for him.
Yeah.
Just walk into church and poof.
He could fuck with people in church and do that on purpose, so they all go, oh!
Now that would be fucking funny. Yeah. I would do that.
Fuck, if I had that kind of power, I'd be doing that all the time.
Oh yeah. Second you get onto holy ground, yeah. or supposed holy ground. It's like
alleged.
A foot there and your whole leg gets burnt up the hair. That would be
every time someone says holy ground, I instantly think of Highlander.
Yeah.
Holy ground, Highlander. Nuns, no sense of humor.
So then I went to school and I started you know, doing the whole occult thing, and I did some papers on it in school and high school and that, and you know, I started reading more about Wiccans and things like that, and kind of got into that, and you know, the whole thing I liked was the do what thou wilt but harm none.
Yeah, I still live by that.
And yeah, exactly. That's always been my thing, you know. Have fun, do what you want, just don't hurt anybody. And then I'm all 100% for that. That is, you know,
that means also and you harm none, do as you will also means yourself too, by the way.
Yeah, so exactly. It means yourself.
Or try not.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just fall down. Yep. and if you're as much of a klutz as I am, that sometimes turns into an awful lot. I'm surprised I survived past 5 years old. Like, I don't know if you can see that eyebrow is all fucked up.
That's from scarring?
Yeah, I fell when I was a kid.
I got them all over here too.
Well, I fell when I was 5 years old and took a chunk out of my eyebrow. And nice. My head was bleeding, and no one ever knew what I hit my head on, but apparently I gushed like a pig, and they took me to the hospital, got it stitched up, so it still has a scar. I fell when I was 5, and I fell on a glass bottle, on a broken bottle, and I just about chopped I've got a scar there and a scar here, and they used tree sap to fix me up.
Really? Canadians.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're a Canadian. What are you talking about, city?
No, I know, but
you're a city.
It's just like tree glue, man. No, I'm not. Well, I do live in a city, but a lot of my relatives are in the outskirts and in the rural areas. So
yeah. Well, I've
had lots of experience there.
You know, the one tree I was actually reading about, it does have antiseptic properties.
Which one?
There's a fir tree here that got really big sap bubbles, and yeah, you can use it as antiseptic if you're in a pinch, and it'll heal. I smelled like a Christmas tree for weeks because I never went to the hospital, and it healed clothes better than this one did the same year. This one had the stitches. This one didn't.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then of course there's falling, and it's just bad. I'm surprised I survived past my childhood. just falling down.
I used to trip and fall over shit so much that I actually practiced not being able to be tripped. So I always challenge people: if you can trip me, I'll give you $10. And no one has yet been able to do that. And I mean by yourself. You're not allowed to put someone behind me on the old bench and push me over them.
So if I put the dog behind you.
No. It's got to be a solo
you said somebody. You said somebody.
I did, but let me retract that and say anything behind me. That's cheating.
I would never do that.
For months, a buddy of mine at work where I used to work kept trying to trip me. He would throw things out in front of me and shit, and I'd be like, "Way!"
Oh my
wheel
goodness.
a tire out in front of me, all kinds of shit the guy tried to do. It was too funny.
It was. It would be, I'm sure. But yeah, so I, through school, I did the whole Wiccan thing, and even for years after that, I don't know how much I actually believed. But you believe in the goddess, and you try some spells and stuff like this, and you hope they work. But really, there's that thing in the back of your mind that goes, "This isn't going to work." But hey, I'm having fun anyway. So
yeah.
And of course, I had
a money spell once with a ceramic bowl.
Yeah.
You fill it 2/3 full of water, and you put a silver dollar in it, and the moon has to be full. Yeah. And you have to catch the image of the moon on the silver dollar, and you'll come into money. Well, lo and behold, 2 weeks later, after I put an ad in the paper, I sold my VCR. Does that count?
Yeah, well, of course. It counts. And countless love spells and all that kind of stupid shit.
Oh, Lord. People seen The Craft? You know how that shit works? Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's like one of my favorite movies. Yeah. Actually, Practical Magic is probably my favorite movie. Have you ever seen it? It's a sappy love movie.
That's probably why I haven't seen it.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
I just watched The Craft because the girls were hot. So
I had a 2004 40th anniversary Mustang convertible, light silver gray color. It was beautiful. I hate my ex. Yeah.
Why, did you write it off?
No, he has it. He bought it. He bought it for me. And I was paying for it. And because I couldn't, my credit was bad. My credit still is bad. And I couldn't get a loan for it for myself. So I was paying him. He got the loan and he got the car, and I was paying him for it. Mm-hmm. And after we broke up, he's like, "Yeah, you can have the car." So I took the car, and I still continued to pay him because that was the deal. And he followed his little fucking weenie back into another relationship, and I says to him, "Don't do it. She's going to fuck you over." Mm-hmm. I know she is. She's got that look. And he's like, "No, no, no, no." 6 months later, she tries to take him and his father's farm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, he's like, "Don't say a word." I'm like, "I get to say it, you
fucking told you
fucking so. Told you so, you fucker." And so, of course, his lawyer's like, "You need to get all your stuff together." And the car was still under his name.
Oh, yeah.
So he comes down and he's like, "Well, I got to come down with her and get the car." And I'm like, "I cannot see you." He's like, "Why? I want to see you." I said, "No. It will turn out very badly if you see me."
For you, not for me.
No, that was precisely the annotation. It would have turned out very badly for him. Because when push comes to shove, I will rip things as shred. And the pushing was being shoved, so Mom and I went to the casino instead. Yeah.
Like, remind me never to piss you off. Yeah?
Oh, yeah. No, it's bad. This just turns bad. I meditated for a lot of years to get my anger under control. I used to be very, very angry person.
It sounds like you had some reasons to be. So
yeah, I think I had. Maybe it could have been just hormones. But yeah, it's I've got scars on all my knuckles from punching brick, and not in the way that Josiah punches brick, but I mean brick walls, and the stucco walls that have the glass shards sprayed onto them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've punched those too, and the steel light posts and stuff like that, because I've been angry. So instead of hitting a person, I hit that.
You probably do less damage to yourself if you hit the person instead, right?
Yeah, but I could hurt them. I know I could.
Were they deserving?
Probably deserving, but I know I could hurt them, so I didn't want to hurt people. It's not in my nature to purposely hurt somebody. Except
I know.
for,
I feel you there.
And it's like I bodybuild for so many years that I know I could hurt people if I connected with them in that fashion. So I just like, get them out of here. so we'll say that I wanted to do that with him in a few
so probably ways, best that you weren't there.
Yeah, it was probably best because it was a really nice car.
Well, yeah, I suppose if you're a fan of Mustangs, sure.
Yeah, it was a beautiful car. You know how many guys I had chasing me down the road with that?
Because they wanted to race you, or what?
Well, usually it ended up being truckers that was yelling out the window for me to come over to the truck stop with them. Like, sure, if you can catch me, boom.
Holy, what was that? There's a movie where there's that in there. I think it was Vacation or something.
I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I kind of remember that, but yeah, no.
You can have me if you can catch me. Yeah. Oh no, it was Cannonball Run, I think, and it was the girls that were driving the Lamborghini.
That's probably.
And they end up being caught up, and they end up catching them, and they're all like,
Well, he caught up at the gas station when I was coming out and getting into my car. Well, you still didn't catch me. Boom. Got it.
Good try. Gone.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so we been did the whole Wiccan thing for a long time, and that was absolutely wonderful. I like I said, for me it wasn't so much the earth spirits and the gods and the stuff like that. It was more the just chill and the whole chill attitude of it all. Like, and
that's an attractive part of it.
It is, and it was the big part of it for me. It was the whole, we're not doing it to push it on the people. We're not doing it to hurt anybody. We're not doing it to be malicious with anybody in any way. We just
that's what they taught you is you don't, because they used to say that whatever you send out comes back times 3. Yeah. So if you sent out something malicious, it would come back to you times 3.
Exactly. Right? Exactly.
A little fucking horseshit, but anyways.
No, well, that is true, but it does seem like it sometimes. It does seem like
maybe.
Shit.
And when you say sometimes, that just shows that it's coincidental.
Exactly. No, exactly. It is all coincidental, like anything else. But it's still like, who wants to risk being a shitty person? Like, really, sooner or later it's going to come out. Even without all that. Yeah, exactly. Even without all that. Like, I've never been too much of a shitty person. I try not to be anyway. I'm sure I have been.
You get what you give, right?
Exactly. And like, even growing up, my mom's like, I never taught you to be kind. I never taught you to be a good person. You were that way from birth. You always tried to, you remember way back when the World Children Fund or whatever the heck it was called, where, they had the starving kids from Africa. When I was little, like, we're talking 3, 4, 5 years old, I tried sending them my leftovers, and it took Mom years to explain to me that they couldn't have my leftovers, but I couldn't understand why we had so much and they had so little. Even when times were rough for us, we had enough to eat.
Yep.
And I couldn't figure it, it still is confusing to me as why,
well, if God was real, it wouldn't be happening.
Exactly. If God was real and caring, like people profess he is, it wouldn't be happening. And so if God is real, he's not caring.
He's all about the suffering, though, apparently. So
yeah, he's all about the suffering. So, fuck him. Like I said, even if if I met the fucker tomorrow, today, if I met him in 2 seconds and he fucking showed up right there next to me,
kick him in the balls.
Oh fuck.
Wait,
yes.
Does he have balls?
I would give him balls to kick.
I would divine balls.
I would give him balls
Best
to kick.
balls you ever seen.
Like there's no, I believe in him.
But I'm still kicking him in the balls.
I'm still kicking him in the balls, and there's no way I would ever worship the fucker. No fucking
just
way.
Just based on his deeds alone.
Even that, no fucker deserves worship. Not one. Nobody.
No, that's true.
Absolutely no one, alive or dead, ever deserves
worship. I don't know.
Worship.
People with humongous egos might argue.
Well, they're the least. That's the bottom of the shit pile. in my opinion, that's the bottom of the shit pile.
There's some people with huge egos that are actually, even egos aside, they're still like decent human beings. Right?
Oh yeah, but if
they're dickish in other ways.
Yeah, exactly. It's still they're still bottom of the shit pile. If you think I need to worship you, you are wrong. I will fuck you up.
God showed up, just make sure you're riding around in an iron chariot, because apparently he has issues with those.
Oh, iron? Okay. I'll
iron chariots. Yeah. If you read in Judges, it talks about how he couldn't defeat. I can't remember the name of them, but they had iron chariots and he couldn't defeat them. So.
Oh well, of course, because
God can't do. I guess it's God's kryptonite, iron.
Okay, so God's what's the Superman's race?
The Kryptonian.
Kryptonian. So
Krypton.
So God's an Irontonian.
Irontonian, yeah. It's from Ironton.
Yeah, that's about it. But yeah, when you just kind of, you grow up out of the whole Wiccan thing, and you realize it's.
Yeah, it was a phase for me too.
It was a phase, and then never, I told Mom I didn't believe in God, and she's just like, okay, just don't tell your grandmother, it'll break her. And if you
break her.
Yeah, she was
diehard,
definitely. Wow. But she died a few years later anyway.
Old school, right?
Yeah,
right.
she was huge old school. Yeah. And but yeah, so here it's not bad like it is for some of our friends in the South, or
no, we're far more secular here.
Yeah, and it's even all the religious people that I live with the Jehovah's Witnesses, and she is she didn't grow up in it, so she has world wisdom, so she knows, she knows what real world is like. And she's like, you're you, I'm not going to push you into this, and if you wanted to come sometime you could, but she doesn't, any more than that, she doesn't push anything on me, and she knows I don't believe, and she's okay with it because I'm different from her. And we've as you probably know, Josiah's got plans to come up, and I've already talked to her about it, and we've got it figured out how to make it so that the other lady that lives here doesn't get too upset. Because
why would she get upset? I don't understand.
Because she's a diehard. She's a, you can't live out of wedlock,
Says who?
Says the lady. Basically, she'll go tattle at the church and just cause lots of problems.
There's no laws here saying you can't do that. So.
I know, but it's the whole causing house issues that would cause more tension than is.
Oh, so you're worried that you might get kicked out because of
No, I'm not worried about my landlady kicking me out. She doesn't care. She knows the world is the way it is. She knows, that there's people that want to get
just want to sin.
Just want to sin. But the other lady that lives here lived in a bubble her whole life, And it's just, and she's the kind of lady she's the kind of person that'll go and make trouble at the church for my landlady, you know, and get her in trouble rather than just keep her nose out of it type of idea, you know, because her nose needs to be in everybody's ass, you know.
Ew.
Yeah, that's what I say too. I know, it's like, but she's got her nose way up there.
It's really hard to get that smell off the end too, you know. That. Come on.
I'm sure. Just yeah, we're gonna make Jeebus cry. Yes, we are.
Good.
Damn right. And of course, we'll have a live stream going, you know, to say hi to everybody when he gets here and stuff like that. That'll be awesome.
Awesome.
And I'm sorry I haven't been paying a lot of attention. I'm trying. I'm trying to pay attention.
Yeah, I know. I keep looking over there too. So.
And just or not just as either that or Jeebus will get turned on. Yeah, it probably.
Jeebus. Nacha.
Oh yeah, I made it all.
How's life in the future, Nacha?
I made the whole everything. Well, except for this. This is actually a bracelet. This here's a bracelet. It's a friend got it for me. It was from Amsterdam, I think. It's Italian Murano beads or whatever or something. I don't know. But it's a bracelet, and I don't really wear bracelets that are this thick.
So you elongated it into a necklace?
So yeah, I added a chain and turned it into a necklace. And I actually made these. I make these kind of beads too, but these ones aren't mine. I've got to get a kiln and a oxygen propane set up to get going on it properly.
I got a little mini kiln at the lab at work. We don't even fucking use it.
Nice. I need to get one too. If you make glass like this, I could go and sell it if I made glass beads. But there is, if you don't cool it down properly, it can just kind of crack and explode and all kinds of bad stuff, and that'll cause problems, you know, legal problems with people getting cut from their jewelry and stuff like that. So you have to sell it.
I just sitting there eating my hamburger and the thing blew up.
Yeah, it could do it. It's just, I've had them fall apart on me, you know, and just kind of crackle apart. Yeah, so.
An obsidian one that literally, I don't know, I think I went outside and it was like minus something out there and it just went
poof.
Yeah, literally fucking vaporized almost. I was like, holy shit, what the hell? Yeah. Well, that wasn't fucking done properly.
Yeah. And this is somebody sent to me.
Was that how you're supposed to wear it like that?
No. Well, most
you could start something there, chin necklaces, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I should hang stuff off my little fucking cookie duster thing in here. Little beads you can put in there.
Get a little clip.
Yeah.
You know.
No, Nadine, I won't do it. No.
Are you sure?
Not enough money in the world to make me look that silly.
If I sent you one?
I guess I could be bought. Yes, I could probably be bought.
Start a new trend. See if I can get some gullible guys into wearing face
jewelry. I'm easy, but I'm not cheap.
Well, maybe I can be bought, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit sleazy too, by the way. just you know,
I've had my days. No, I'm not allowed in Safeway anymore. Anyway. All right, so back to the topic. We're so good at sidetracking you and I on this shit, so.
Perfect. You know, there's no good conversation can go without sidetracking. And just
I agree. It adds to the fun of it. I think.
It's because of the curvature of the Earth in the spin. You know, if you don't turn just a little bit. we're always turning just a little bit.
Well, we aren't, but the planet is. We're just stuck to the planet.
Yeah, well, technically we are turning with the planet. We are still turning.
We're victims of the turning.
Yeah, we're victims
of the rotation. Yes. Yeah.
I just couldn't help it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
GE put out one the other day about a convex Earth where it's actually curved in instead of out. I was like, what? This is a fucking thing? Holy shit. I was all like, yeah, John, give him shit. Yeah, fuck yeah. Right in the left and yeah. Logic in this hand, facts in the other hand. Fucking smack it.
I know, you just... Yeah. Like, I saw some of the stuff, it's just you sit there and you can't really drink while you're watching the stuff because you could
spit it everywhere.
Well, there's the possible spitting it everywhere or taking like a swallow and it just all going into your lungs, just...
Well, that, and it's like I'm always like, oh fuck, now I gotta wipe off the screen again.
Yeah, that's about it.
I want to enjoy my alcoholic drink, you bastard, or coffee or whatever it is you're drinking.
And of course, there's last night where you kept, or not last night, the last stream I was on with you, you kept screwing with me because Hangouts is here and the video is playing right here. And you'd go out this side of the screen and then you'd walk across this screen and then you'd walk around and you come in the
well, yeah, it's because I was in the Hangout on this and the other thing.
Yeah, and you'd come in from the other side of your screen again. So it looks like you'd be doing a big wraparound.
I circled the globe.
Yeah, exactly. So
ask Nacho. I waved at him as I was running by.
Nacho, like,
I was like, hey, Nacho, how's it going, buddy? Woo! Back to Canada I go. I'm just like Jesus. I can run over water too.
Well, technically, you can
no, I just have lots of helium. I just have lots of helium in my head, so I just float over.
Is that what the headband's always on there for?
That's right. It keeps it in.
You don't. Yeah. Okay. Not just as he waved.
Next time I'll stop and smoke one with you, brother. Some of that good BC bud. Although recently with the Cannabis Cup, because I always keep up to see who's got some of the better product these days, and Australia and BC are usually the ones that are battling back and forth for supremacy in the weed department.
My mom's like, have you tried CBD oil for my arthritis pain? Because I've been in a lot of
it has different levels of potency too. So you can get some pretty extreme shit for that.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, Mom, there's not that much research on it yet. Like I'm fine if there's good research behind it. Like I will, whatever there's good research behind, I will.
It helps a friend of mine with his Parkinson's.
Yeah, so. Well, it does. Like a lot of people say it helps. So like I'm gonna go talk to him.
Individual body chemistry is going to react to it differently to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and same with any medications, really.
Yeah, so. Yeah, exactly.
There are varying levels of success, right, depending on.
Exactly, and but yeah, I'm just like, Mom, there's not much research on it, but I'll go talk to my doctor because I'm talking to my doctor next week.
There you go. Just bring it up, see what he says. Yeah. He might agree with you. There's not enough research yet.
She might. Well, it's
or she, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. She's been pretty cool, and she was like my track on my diagnosis for my diabetes on how to fix it and my plan for fixing it, and because there's good research on low carb diets helping you get off of the medications for it.
So my mom's also, and she's looking into that too.
Yeah, and there's good research that I found on it, so I just kind of threw myself on one.
There you go.
And
Has it been working at all?
I lost 40 pounds in.
Wow. Oh yeah, that's right.
9 months, and well, I'm kind of floating between 35 and 40 pounds. It's like I've been floating there for a while, but still, I lost a lot of weight. And anybody want a bit more? You can come and take some off my hands. You know, another 20, 25 pounds. I'll be happy. You know, you can just take it. It's all good. You know, if someone's a bit scrawny,
I'm good.
You're okay.
I'm good. I'm at a weight now where I don't look at myself. A few years ago, I was putting on a few, and I'd look at myself and go, "Yee." So yeah. I got rid of all that, and I've just been maintaining my
yeah. Weight as it is. Well, I'm usually really good at kind of floating around a weight. I just got getting there. It's getting to that spot to float around
and maintaining.
Yeah, and I went from kind of, my jeans were really baggy, so last week I went to the thrift store and got a couple of pairs of jeans for myself, and I actually got the skinny jeans. Like, no, well, they call them skinny jeans now, but they were the stretch jeans. When I was in high school, they were just stretchy jeans, and that's what
no bell bottoms? Come on.
No. I wear the stretchy jeans, and I was able to buy 2 pairs that fit me well. Just I'll tell you. I'll tell you, they looks pretty good. And actually, I'm pretty happy with the way they look.
I think Josiah's opinion is somewhat biased.
Oh no, they look really good.
Well, I believe you. I'm just saying a comment on his opinion. A little on the bias side.
No.
However, I probably would agree. So there you go. But you got to give a better source than Josiah.
Okay, I says they look good.
There we go. Now we've moved completely away from bias.
And what woman says that they look good? Come on.
Yeah, that's well, no, I know quite a few that I think that women's attitudes about themselves are way up on the rise now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember back in the day, it's just, oh yeah, I don't look. It's like, yeah, you do. What are you talking about? Right.
Worst mistake I ever made was
I gained that. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And the worst mistake I ever made was I had gained 5 pounds, and like at the time I was 180 pounds of muscle. And I gained 5 pounds. I went to a nutritionist to try and lose a little bit of weight because I had a tiny paunch on my belly. And like, it was nothing. It really was nothing. And they put me on a diet. Gained weight ever fucking since. And it's like...
Was it a backwards diet or what?
I think so. She must have been jealous or something. Told me to do all the wrong things. And the second I stopped doing what the nutritionist said, my weight evened out.
Excellent.
It's like, and then now the problem is getting it down. I did a few years back. I actually lost 30 pounds in 2 months, sorry. And I had a bad asthma attack. And they put me on prednisone for a month, and I gained 30 pounds back plus 5. So I gained 35 pounds in a month after just losing 30 pounds. I just about died. It was awful.
Yeah, but you've lost that again since.
I've lost that again since. And I don't have to worry about my asthma here as much.
Great.
Because there's no spruce trees. And that year I was living in the mountains, in the Rocky Mountains. Or at least the foothills north of Calgary. And spruce trees pollinated so much that I had a chili pepper red Jeep. That color red. That's kettle cooked peanuts. They're really yummy. But they were that color red Jeep was parked near the spruce trees. I woke up one morning and it was yellow. The spruce trees pollinated so bad on it. I couldn't breathe. At the time I was walking for an hour and a half on the treadmill, a half an hour on a stair climber, 15 minutes on a rowing machine. I do 3 hours of weights every other day. And I do all that cardio every day. And then probably another 3 hours of cardio. So I was doing up to 9 hours of working out a day.
Wow, and that's a considerable chunk.
It was a considerable chunk. But, you know, it's easy to do when you plunk in, like we had our own treadmill, you plunk in a movie and you walk until the movie's done. You walk until the movie's done. Easy to do. I did that multiple times, but I also went to the gym and I went and worked out, but I lost all that weight. And then I went from being able to walk all that much to I couldn't spend 5 minutes on a treadmill. I was just about dying. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? You know, I'm just like, you know, I'm just dying. And they put me on a really strong prednisone for a month. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Oh, well. Yeah. So, okay. Now that we've sidetracked yet again. So what I kind of want to know now is how has you sort of completely removing yourself from faith and religion and everything, how has that affected your relationships with the people around you?
My living situation now, it hasn't really affected. She knows I'm atheist and she's okay. As long as I'm not pushy with her and she's not pushy with me, we live together just fine. We're like mother and daughter. Like she's adopted me as her surrogate daughter. Her daughter is got schizophrenia and is very like she's a very withdrawn kind of person. So she hasn't had that daughter relationship that I've been able to provide because my dad was living here. And that's how I ended up here. And my mom, when I told her about our kind of group that I had become part of, my mom says to me, "Oh,
stay away from that Neil guy. He's an asshole."
No, she'd love your hair.
Actually, not even 2 weeks ago, I'm standing on a street corner and I didn't even see her coming from behind. She started playing with my hair. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And some little lady, your hair is so beautiful. I've said it's actually not, but okay. I need a trim. Yeah, it was the craziest thing.
I told her about this group of friends that I've got online and she's like, you found, you're 44 years old and you finally found your people. I'm like, yes, I found my people.
we were here the whole time.
I know, but it's finding the people. It's finding them. That's the you know, it's that, you know, she was my mother has always been supportive and she just thought it was great that I found people that I can get along with and, you know, talk to and all this kind of stuff because I never really had that. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like I seem like a great outgoing person. That's because I feel comfortable with you guys.
Yeah.
And I've had to work at getting that. In other jobs where I've had to be personal, you know, you go to work functions and stuff. And I was so shy in that. I was like, you know, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I'd be like having panic attacks and stuff. And finally I'm like, you know what? I gotta get over it. And I went and I'm like, okay, every work function, I'm introducing myself to 5 people I do not know. Yeah, so I'd walk up to 5 random people that was in the workplace that I was at. I just didn't meet them yet, you know, and I walk up and I shake their hand and, hi, I'm this and this and I work here and how are you doing and all that kind of stuff. And then when they were done talking, I'd say, nice meeting you and have a good day, and I wander off back to my little group of friends. And
did you notice any change at work because of that?
Not really, except for some of the people I'd walk up to, my coworker, like the guys, like I work in IT. I'm a computer tech, and so I worked with mostly guys, and they'd look at me after I was done talking to somebody. They like, do you know who that was? Like, no. Turn out it's the owner of the company or the VIP or, you know, is a couple of big shots, the CEOs and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I just walked up to a random person standing at the bar and shook his hand and talked to him. Whether it's a guy or shook their hand and talked to her, you know, whoever it was, if they weren't talking to somebody already.
Yeah.
You know,
they're game.
And so, exactly. And that's how I kind of worked myself out of my little bubble.
That's great.
Sort of helpful because it helps in playing poker and stuff, because you can't.
Not everyone can do that. So kudos to you.
Yeah.
Not everyone garners up that kind of courage to do that. So.
Like, geez, it took me a long time. Like, I was in my late 30s before I even started doing that. Like, it's so you've got to really be sick of your situation. You've really got to be, you know. And I did the same thing with my fear of heights. There's a thing called the drop zone. It's done through Easter seals. And you raise funds, and if you raise a certain amount of funds, you get to rappel down a building. I was in Calgary at the time, so the building that you rappel down is a 31-story building. You rappel down 31 stories.
Cool.
And so I was raising the money. I didn't raise enough, but I ended up joining the team of the company that I was working or contracting to. I joined their team, so they took up the slack, and so I was able to rappel down, and I was scared as hell. When you go up into a sky-rise building, the roof is kind of gravelly. At least in Calgary, they were all gravel roofs.
Yeah.
So you come up, you come up to the escalator or the elevator well, and you walk up another flight of stairs out to the outside, and you go up another flight of stairs, and you're on the roof, and there's like a little step kind of around the whole edge of the building, and then there's railing on the inside. There's no railing on the outside, but there's railing on the inside, so you don't fall down the elevator well. And and there's ropes going everywhere.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, I know. And there's ropes going everywhere. I was scared shitless. And it was Superman theme. Like, it was superhero theme. And the only true superheroes I ever knew in my life was parents. They are the true superheroes, is a parent. Especially a single.
Oh, well.
Especially a single
because
parent.
the other ones aren't real, Nadine. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you had to classify someone in the real world as a superhero, parents would definitely be on that list.
Especially single parents. And so I took one of Mom's aprons, and that's what I wore. That was
like as a cape, or
no, I wore it like, and I wore it as an apron and
tied around your neck or something. No, too tight.
No. I wore it as an apron. I'll dig up some links to some pictures and share it with you guys. But
cool.
But it was by the time I got the harness and stuff, it was tucked into the harness. It looks really funny, but it was the only superhero I could think of. Sure, I could be
like a real world
Spider-Man. Yeah, because I wasn't going to go with Superman or Spider-Man or anything like that.
What's wrong with Spider-Man?
It would have made rappelling down the building easier, though. But I wonder, Reese, I wonder what my favorite color is. Purple. But so I ended up rappelling down this building, but it took me it took them like 25 minutes to coax me to the edge of the building. I wrapped my arms. There's the rail that's kind of running around the edge. I wrapped my arms around the rail, and I'd walk along like that. And then I'd get to a set of ropes, and I'd be like, and keep going. Step over. And then I got to a rope that I had to actually step over. And I'm like, they're like, okay, step over the rope. You want me to do what? You want me to do what? They're like, we need you to step over the rope. Excuse me?
No.
I'm like dying. And so I grabbed this one guy's hand, like he was a fairly big guy. I grabbed his hand, and I had a death grip on it. Like, you could see the white of my knuckles, and he was going. And then I grabbed the other guy on the other side of the rope, and he's going, okay, now step over. I'm like,
hurry.
And so I get over the rope, and then they're like, okay, you need to walk out to the edge of the building. I'm like, what? So one guy grabs my hands and kind of backs me up to the sides of the building. You know, he's like, okay, just back up, you know, and he's got beautiful eyes, and I'm just like, oh, okay. he's got a ring on his
everything changed.
And everything changed. Yeah. I'm like a sucker for nice set eyes, I tell you. I'm just like, oh, like they were like
they usually come in
they were blue gray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it was like, ah. And so I'm back up, and then they're like, okay, step up. I'm like, what? So I broke my spell there. What? What do you want me to do? So I finally
get over again.
Yeah, because you have to, while you're back on, there's the ground, however many feet 31 stories is, and you're looking at it going, you know, I don't look down. I didn't look down. At least not on purpose. And they're like, okay, now you have to step your feet up and step back onto the ledge. I'm like, excuse me? You said what?
I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me. So I did. I stepped up.
Wasn't in the brochure.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they told me I had to do this. I didn't know I had to do this. So I you know, I'm scared to death because I'm afraid of heights. Like, I'm
not scared of heights. It's the landing.
Yeah, exactly. Really I could get up onto like a roof of a house as long as I don't have anything on my feet. If my feet are bare, I can walk around a roof all day. But as soon as I got something on my feet and I feel like I'm slipping, it's like, I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna fall. There's it all over. Anyway, I get out to they're like, okay, you know, like in your training, you have to sit back like you're in a chair. So I start getting back, and the two people that are waiting with me, the one girl's done it multiple times, and she's just, Nadine, you could do it, you could do it. And they're all screaming at me. And finally, I get over the side of the building. And so I get down a bit, and I'm doing the whole ratchety thingy that they have us doing, you know, and I'm getting down there, and she's like, you're doing great. You're doing great. I'm like, yay. She's like, oh, this is the 19th floor. And I go, and I can't even try to make it seem as fast as my head snapped back, because when I looked this way, because I worked on the 19th floor in the building that was right there. And like, we're kind of in a little alcove of this building. So we're not actually on the street. We're kind of in this cutout. Mm-hmm. So I turned this way, I could see my office. And without thinking about it, my head went like this. And out of the corner of my eye, I can see the ground. You have never seen a head move back so fast. I give myself whiplash.
It's not good.
And there's like ladies and guys in their window, and they've got signs. Some of them has signs that says this is the whatever floor, 19th floor, you know, whatever, or 20th floor or whatever.
You're
so that's how
die.
and this lady, she looks so sweet. She was just such a nice. She had a really nice looking. She had a really nice smile, and she's like, hi, and I'm like, you know, I'm just terrified. I can't believe
help me.
And then I get stuck. My ratchety stopped ratcheting.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, I'm not calling for help, besides the fact that I no longer remember what the signal for help was.
Which can happen if you go into panic mode.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I close my eyes, and I'm like, what do you do? Well, they said not to let go of anything, but I can't get the ratchety thingy to work. So I'm going to really hope that those safety lines work. And I went like this. I let go of everything. I let go of everything because the one rope was kind of in the way of the ratchety. So I let go of the whole thing to figure out what was going on. And then I took the one rope and went like that. And just kind of hauled it off to the side, and was able to get the ratchety to start moving again. And then I put everything back and you know, got it moving again. And oh my God. And I get down, and once you get down to about the 5th floor, you start coming off the edge of the building a bit. So you're coming down, and there's an underhang here. And so you start going like this. Well, I start, when we got here, I start spinning. So the last five floors, I'm spinning. And it's spinning, and I'm like,
it's just good at drugs.
Fuck. I was just about done. I get to the ground, and my one leg is going like this, and I'm
like a dog when you kick them in the right spot, right?
Yeah, exactly. Except this is both of my feet are kind of going like this. And
did you just say feet?
I did say feet. Fuck off. You love it. Both of my feet are going like this, and I'm just like I'm standing there, my legs shaking, and they do an interview with you, and I'm just my legs shaking, and I sit down with my mom, or at the top, I forgot. At the top, they actually did a camera interview with you. And it was the only part that you buy a $40 CD DVD of their whole thing. They put a compilation of stuff in it.
They charge you for it?
Yeah, and the only thing I wanted on there was the interview on the top of the building, because they said, "Do you have anything you'd like to say to anybody?" I said, "I love you, Mommy." I guess I thought I was going to die, so I just wanted to get that
out there. Final words.
These are my final words, exactly. And I get down on the ground, and
little Joey down the street gets all my Lego. And...
yeah, exactly. And I get down, and they do the interview down there. How was it? It was great, and blah 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 blah. And I get sitting down. My mom had to borrow my mom's sneakers because I wasn't wearing the right kind of shoes for it. So I'm sitting down, and Mom's kind of beside me, and she's trying to take my shoes off, so she's got a hold of my one foot, so it's staying still, but my other foot is going like this, and then she lets go of my other foot and grabs the other foot, and the other it was freaking hilarious. It was freaking hilarious, but yeah, it was fun. It was you do it, you do what you have to do for, I figured it's time you gotta face your fears, and I'm still afraid of heights, but I faced them, so I can at least say that. You don't have to be not afraid of it anymore. You just have to face it.
It's just like I tell people that still have their belief systems. So you don't have to be afraid of letting go of that shit, man.
No, exactly.
We have a song written about that called "Let It Go." I know it's not the one from Frozen, so shut up.
Yeah. Like last year, I watched my dad die, and you don't have to be afraid of death. Death is ugly. Death is no good. But when it's over, it's over.
Death is just a natural process. It's the end.
Exactly, and it's over when it's over. Yeah, exactly. And when it's over, it's over. And
so I say make the best of it while you're here, man.
Exactly. And like I told you there the other day, I found out a guy I knew had committed suicide not long ago. He shot himself. He had been out all day with a mutual friend, and they were partying. They had a great time, and he went home and shot himself in the head. And I found out this mutual friend that had told me, I just found out yesterday, he told me he was dying.
Oh.
And he's cirrhosis of the liver?
Cirrhosis, yeah.
Yeah.
Cirrhosis.
Yeah, whatever, the liver thing. And he's
I lost a friend to the same thing. Yeah.
And he was not doing, they give him like 1 to 3 years. So it doesn't surprise me. Like when I knew him, he drank a lot, and it's not surprising at all. Just he galloned himself to death. Like it wasn't. You ever watch Stephen King movies? Desperation.
Yes, I've seen.
Yeah, and then the one author goes, I didn't drink, I drowned, and this is what I think of when I, think of that friend of mine. He didn't drink, he drowned himself in liquor. Yeah. So that's he's a young guy, he's younger than me, and he's gonna die before he's 40.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, so but that's just, like I said, that's life, and that's kind of the way it goes. And yeah, it's just you gotta, I figure if I can go out saying that, well, look back and say, I faced some of my fears, I I met people. I faced all kinds of fears, and I met a bunch of friends, people that I consider friends for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's such a bad way to be.
Yeah.
Be able to sit there and go, I met a bunch of great people, and I can say that I faced things I was afraid of. I can learn new things. I've done
not
things.
Just faced, conquered.
Conquered.
Right?
I'm a conquering hero.
Wave that victory flag, you know?
Yeah, and you know, it's I figure it's a good way to, you know, a good way to kind of look at it and kind of be. And
I look at life as being like a big story, and every person has a chapter. And I always tell people, make sure your chapter is memorable and meaningful as much as you possibly can.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I do everything in my power to make that so. Because the only way really to live past your death is when people are still talking about stuff that you did.
Yeah,
or that you had an impact on, or whatever,
yeah,
right? So
exactly.
try and live your life that way.
Brent, that's awesome. That's good.
Wow, Brent, that's impressive, man. It's not an easy one. A friend of mine right now is on day 84 without it. So
yeah, it's.
But of course, she gives all the credit to God. I'm like, really? You're going to rob yourself of your own ability to defeat an addiction like that?
Yeah,
That's pretty fucking sad, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know, it's, and that's the thing is you know, with that mindset, you know, give. I think if someone's got that mindset, you express that you're that sign into chat. Why is it saying I'm not? Sign into chat. Why is it saying I'm not signed to chat?
It's okay. We're going to be done here momentarily anyways, because we're past the hour. So
yeah. Okay. Well, but anyway, you know, it's yeah, you know, just I figure if your friends or family or anybody is giving somebody else credit for what they've done, point out the fact that you've worked hard on this.
Yeah.
And I am proud of you.
Credit.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't even have this, you know, just I am proud of what you've done, to get yourself out of this.
Yeah.
And once you tell a person enough, they start thinking about it that way.
Yeah.
But sometimes it takes a long time. Sure. Sometimes it takes a really long time.
Well, when they've lived an entire life used to doing it the other way, it's hard to break some of those chains, right?
Exactly. And I'm lucky in that way that I haven't had religion shoved down my throat the way other people have. Mm-hmm. And I am strongly against having any religion, even lack of religion, shoved down people's throats. Your choice. But I am anti-theist. On that note, I am anti-theist. I don't think religion is needed, or
it does more harm than good, if you ask me.
Yeah, and exactly. But you know, I'm going to support your ability to go to church. If you want to go to church, I will support that. But I don't have to agree with it.
That's right.
But I'm not going to go.
No, but I'll make sure you I will fight for their right to have their religion. I will be there fighting alongside them for their right to have the religion, as long as they keep it where it belongs. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you know, and it's just exactly. It's just, you know, people have done these things themselves. It's like the self-help shit that goes around, you know. No, it's not magical thinking that gets you there. It's you working hard at it. And sometimes you don't know what you need to do to work. You know, you don't know, like me, I'm not a salesperson. I know that's a weakness I have. Oh, you like it? Buy it or fuck off. That's my sales pitch, by the way.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. You like it, then fucking buy it. If you're questioning, then you don't actually like it, so piss off.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I got other people to deal with here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have time for this. I'm trying to make something here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All the specs are right there. Check it out. If you like it, buy it. If not, get out of my face.
Exactly. And thinking about that, I finally found my price list, which has all my, like, basically my price list is, I figured out how long stuff takes me to make. Mm-hmm. And so I've got everything's set up. So I just punch in it's this material, it's this pattern, it's this length, and then just plunks out a number for me.
Perfect.
So I finally found that yesterday. Oh man, I'm so pissed off.
But you have to enter values in there first, don't you?
Like, yeah, I've done all that. Like
you figure what your time is worth per hour, and then
exactly. And I've done all that. I've done, like, I know, like,
so
there's
150, 160 bucks an hour.
Yeah, would be nice.
Nah, should be more.
Would be nice. When I was contracting some of the oil companies, like, I was cheap at $40 an hour, $50 an hour. I've been contracted out for $70 an hour, getting paid $15. Fuck,
What?
Yeah. When I first got into the IT gig, I was being contracted out for $70 an hour, and I was getting paid $15. And when the company I was working for went under,
70.
Yeah. And when the company that I was working for went under, they did not pay me the last $5,500 that they owed me. They owed me $5,000 in wages and $500 in out-of-pocket expenses. So my travel expenses, they still.
Did they ever pay?
They never paid me. Buddy's wife paid for the house, so she couldn't get after her, and he skipped to Mexico.
No. That happens a lot with construction companies around here. They put themselves together, put these buildings up all shoddy-like, and then they fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. And
anyway.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, Nadine, we are past the hour, but that's okay. Good. Yeah, I know. It's almost quarter after 4 now. So. I know. But I did enjoy the conversation. It's always fun talking to you regardless anyway. So thanks for sharing your story with us. And thanks everyone for hanging out in the chat. And sorry, I mostly ignored most of it. It was kind of hard to keep looking this way. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of ignored you guys too.
And I've already set up the after party link. So I'll just go grab myself another beer and have a quick smoke, and then we'll jump into an after party. So anyone who would like to be involved in the after party, feel free to send me a DM on Twitter. It's at 604Atheist if you don't already know that. And we'll throw a bit of an after party. And
yes, you did, Duke.
I haven't given Duke the last two because he's a big loudmouth schnook, as he puts it. No, he knows I love him.
But he
wasn't really around. He
just got here. He just got here. He missed my interview. No, it's not. He missed my interview.
He can still watch it.
Yeah, but not until
it's not like I'm going to take it down now. Yeah, well, that's fine. I'll tell you what. He can. I'll send him a link for the after party, and he can come in.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to do that now.
I don't know, Duke.
Bad Duke.
Bad Duke.
No T-bone for you today.
I will not spank you. So there.
Yeah, you're going to get a spanking. He's probably like, oh, excellent.
No, you're not going to get one. So there. I know you'd like it way too much.
I need to find my whip. I don't know what I did with it. Anyway.
And I love you guys too.
All right. Well, thanks, Nadine, for sharing everything.
Yes.
And
thank you, Neil, for having me.
No problem. And we're going to do an after party probably in less than 10 minutes. So anyone that wants to get involved, again, just send me a DM and I will set you up. And thanks again to everyone for sticking around through our ramblings and nonsensical sidetracking all over the place, as usual on my show. But that's kind of the fun of it, because it's not all about religion, although I do like to hear about deconversions, but we like to have a little fun too and just talk about every day-to-day stuff, and that's how I get to know you guys just a little bit better. So remember, guys, they call it faith because it's not knowledge. All right, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.